Are they beautiful souls? Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my live videos or all my feeds, simply just take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. It is Thanksgiving Monday here in Canada. So happy Thanksgiving. I am enjoying an extra long weekend this weekend. So it has been absolutely glorious to just have some downtime, to some time with family. Hi there. Good morning. Come on in. I know I'm a little bit off time this morning. It is a holiday here, so I enjoyed a little bit of extra free time this morning to just kind of be still. So I am here with a few things. Number one, I want to talk about the energy update. I did sit with my angelics and spirit guides this morning, and I did some channeling. We've got a real big week coming up here, so I'm going to just get right into it and then we'll get over to some questions. Oh, Marina, yeah, happy to catch you live. Look at you all coming in. I wasn't sure with the taking a little bit of a later start this morning if anybody was going to be around, but I'm grateful to have you all here. And there's always the replay. So this week, when I sat there, I literally had to take a big breath in and hold on before I was able to release it. We've got some big energy coming in this week. Perhaps you've already started to feel it over the weekend. Some power. It's going to be a powerful week of expanding our heart space. There's also a little bit of navigating through some emotional letdowns. So if you have been feeling either let down by yourself or let down as a whole, or people letting you down, we have a little bit of that kind of creeping in the beginning of this week, so a little bit early week, so today and tomorrow. We're coming into a journey of increased self-respect. So it's like we're leveling up, if you will. It's like there's a portal opening up to expand that heart space, is how I felt that coming in. And these powerful energies are coming in a lot this week, and I think a lot of it has to do with the Libra new moon, and we do have some eclipse stuff going on, so that always kind of opens up and encourages a lot of transformation as well. I kept feeling again with this whole step up, new beginnings, open doors, closed doors, and this whole shift into it, the journey of increased self-respect. Big, bold energy on true and authentic. Honor where you are without judgment. And I know that's a big one for many of us, but the volume of that is being turned up this week. And this whole leaning more into inner peace and looking after ourselves with this whole emotional healing, with this whole moving forward, with this whole I can only go forward from where I'm standing. I felt this push. Now, when we kind of navigate through a lot of this kind of stuff, it often affects the people that we're close to because they're often going through some of their things too. So I felt a little bit of I'll just use like the gravel road feeling as far as people around us, as far as relationship stuff goes. I feel like we're gonna have to kind of just be a little bit extra aware that the people that you are close to are also going through a little bit of these powerful shifts within themselves. There was also a restless. I felt very restless in the energy. I just felt like I really needed to surround myself with a bit of a different energy. I felt like I just needed to, breathe a little more outside. I felt I needed to have that soft and compassionate space that people around me are also going through that. So people around you are also going through that. And this whole piece of letting yourself down, what Spirit's saying about that is it's just a bit of a level up and kind of increase your own how you're feeling about yourself, increasing that you we judge ourselves so hard, and when things aren't going the way we perceive them that they should be going or the way we want them to be going, if things, it's easy when things are smooth, but when things go on that gravel road feeling, we kind of get really hard on ourselves, and we lean in there with such judgment. So if you're finding this week that you're kind of judging yourself, like hard on yourself, lean into the awareness of it, but also lean into the that increase. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm learning as I'm going. I'm shifting into a new version of myself. I just kind of keep an eye on that because I felt that it just kind of it was rattling for some of us this week. I just felt like that rattle. There is a push to change and to grow, and I think it's going to get louder and louder and louder over the next couple months. It's about growth, and it's about how do you see yourself. The other thing that came up very loud and clear for this week is we're going to have to be a little bit extra aware about um, collaborating with compromise. I feel like we're going to have to just kind of like be a little bit aware of that. You may be finding yourselves in some mixed energies, perhaps a little bit of power struggles. But I felt like I just needed to kind of say, you know what? Let's kind of find a way so that everybody can kind of um be happy or peaceful, and but honoring yourself in that as well. Sometimes we just go too far the other way with sacrificing our own inner peace to make everybody else around us happy. Just kind of put yourself in that as well. Maruna, right on point. Let down by myself. I expect more braveness than I can have for now. Um, that's exactly the point, Maruna, is when sometimes perhaps there might be more you can do or more or better, and we kind of lean into that. So remind yourself, I am brave and I'm doing the best that I can to navigate through, this learning. And this isn't a bad energy update. It's not whatsoever. It's not a negative energy that's coming through. It's a power to expand that heart space and to kind of work through some of that emotional letdowns, right? So it's about the learning, and it's about the shifting, and it's about kind of getting us to kind of like go up a little bit, heal a little bit. I need to work on this a little bit. It's just that awareness that's going to come in, and you may not feel it until maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, but there is going to be some just a little bit of gravel with that. The other thing that really came up was water. So, just kind of I kept seeing myself in water. I kept seeing like the need to kind of like soak in water. If you're struggling, a very powerful recharge or healer is water. So, give yourself extra drinking water, soak in water, even if it's just soaking your feet in water, being a little bit more aware of water. Water is a very cleansing, healing, grounding space. And I just kept seeing myself there, just back to the water I go, back to the water I go. So just kind of lean into that. I had a bath last night and put moon water in it. I love that, Kayla. Absolutely. Tin, I've been very focused on my self state this week, trying not to overthink about the people and the state of my relationships right now. I'm being called to clean my room. Haha. There you go. And that's a lot of what I said there, Tin, about relationships and people around you, and that whole space of feeling that movement of energy. And sometimes, when we lean into that, the attachment stuff and the compromise stuff and the confusing mixed stuff and the power struggles, sometimes we have to remember that we matter too. And if it's just stepping back, cleaning my room, getting out, I think that's going to be something that we just kind of need to lean into a little bit this week. But look at it from this perspective, okay? It's an increase up. It's not necessarily down or things falling apart. It's an increased up. All relationships with people that are around us, there's always room for growth and understanding, or there's always room for shifting and changing. And I just feel like we just need to kind of navigate through that a little bit, and letting ourselves kind of learn it, and that inner peace. And I'm learning as I go. It's going to be kind of some of that stuff. Look after yourselves as well when it comes to some of this emotional stuff. Okay, Peyton, we cleared out some old energy from our home and we started feeling much better physically. Energy is a very powerful thing, and moving energy around and cleansing brings us into a completely different vibration, because it's the new beginnings, it's new space, it's making room for new things to come in, right? Which is why purging both physical stuff and energetic stuff, whether it be thoughts or energy or cleansing ourselves, is so important, because it just kind of gives us room, and it just kind of opens us up into that new space. The other thing that, and I'm spirit still like chattering with me on this, is We don't have to embed ourselves into other people's stuff. And I think that's part of the whole statement of the journey of increased self-respect. We can help other people from our lane without diving into it and causing us to kind of get too tangled up, if that makes sense. Watch for the inner peace piece. And there's like two different words of peace, right? Two different spellings of peace. But just watch for that. Just kind of watch for that awareness of where's my inner peace at right now. Okay. It's going to be an interesting week. We are coming through with a lot of different energies this week. There's a lot of stuff going on with eclipses and new moons and solar flares, and it's just gonna feel a little bit wobbly. Let's go into some questions. I have a little bit of time here, so I'm just going to scroll back up. A lot of you were able to join. I'm really grateful to have you all here. And again, happy Thanksgiving. Um, Kyle, I've been a bit of a nut. A rut. Sorry. Sorry, Kyle. I've been in a bit of a rut for the past month. Do my angel or guides have any advice or messages for me? Kyle, I want you to kind of lean into I'm learning to break old patterns. Sometimes the energy that we use is really important. I'm learning how to break through some old patterns. I'm learning how to open myself up. And I feel like as I come into a little bit more of this is when you look at the emotional letdowns, Kyle, if you kind of lean in there a little bit, is some of the rut that you're kind of the hamster wheel, is some of the learning because of emotions. You don't have to acknowledge it here on the chat if you don't want to, but kind of taking a look at the emotional side of it and seeing if there's anything there that you just need to put down, release, or perhaps you just need to, do a little bit of cleansing energetically. I feel that your your inner self, your higher self is absolutely glorious and busting to break out, and I just feel like I've got to kind of like allow a bit more of that forward. And that's kind of what your spirit guides are saying, is allow a bit more of that, a little bit more of the essence of who you are, kind of lead the way. Right. Sometimes the essence of who we are, like, we hold back on that because we're, again, here we are coming back to the whole self-judgment thing. Where are you with that self-judgment? Where are you in that? So because sometimes we hold ourselves back from our authentic thoughts, our authentic how we feel. Sometimes we hold ourselves back because of that. So where on the judgment line, that self-judgment, where are you at? Is kind of where I'm pushed to go, because absolutely a glorious, glorious part of you is it's cracking to break out. It's just like I can just see it. I can just see that, Kyle, with that was like cracking through an egg or cracking through. I can see that piece of you, that almost like that new version of you, that whole healed self of you kind of like peeking through there. And I just have to give you that little bit of a push. I hope that resonates there. Okay, let's see where we go here. Astral traveler. Any advice for my son having problems and has for many months? When I lean in there, but number one, I feel that things are coming. I do feel there's going to be a calming space. But one thing that I really have to put into balance there, and I get that life can be a gong show, right? We have stuff that comes at us, but what I have to kind of lean in there a little bit more is, and I know you'll understand this, and is the power of what is also right. Because I do feel like there's a lot that is right for him. I feel like there's a lot to be grateful for. I feel like there's a lot that is successful. I feel like there's a big parts of him that are absolutely delicious. And I just feel like I have to take off my glasses. I really have to take off my glasses and change my lenses. Energy is a powerful thing, and I think some of it is learning and soul contract stuff. Okay, but also some of it is what he's pulling into. With if you truly lean into nothing is going right for me, nothing is going to go right for me. That is kind of the space that you kind of lean into. It's part of it is energy. So I would have to kind of, and I feel him resistant. So I'm not sure he's going to be quite so wide open as you are with this topic, but I feel like I just have to, perhaps send him um loving words or inspirational quotes of gratitude, and shifting out of that, and letting go of the emotional letdowns. And here, and I just had a light bulb go off. There's a big part of him that's dealing with the emotional letdown of what's not going right. So that's kind of the space that I need to get him lean into. I hope that you find that helpful, and I do feel he's going to be a little bit resistant with it, but it's okay to hold the space. It's okay, like, visualizing him sat next to you with beautiful light all around him. But it's the emotional letdown in that circle that I'm just chasing my tail with it. I hope that that helps explain that there. Um, my bunny is getting spayed next week. I took the time to explain what will be happening. I would like to know if she's understood and if the surgery will go okay. Um, what I feel like, I need to also add that I feel like she's got some understanding, but I feel like there's still a little bit of a confusion, and there might be a little bit of confusion with the whole process. Sometimes they don't understand exactly why. Like, I don't feel like I understand why. I feel like I understand that I'm going to be loved through something. I feel like there's that piece. But what I would do, excuse me, if you haven't already, is just visualize, because animals are really they respond to energy. So visualize yourself holding her after the surgery and coming home, just to kind of send them that comfort level. Just bring that into your mind, and then and she'll feel it. Because I feel like that's going to be the biggest piece, that she's not going to understand if I'm coming home, or what's going on. So I just need to kind of bring that into my awareness. You are going to come home, and you are going to be okay and safe. Jennifer, I'm making a career move, waiting on the contract, and I'm trying to feel good about offering notice to my current employer while knowing the need of the next employer. The change is for my wellness. Um, First of all, congratulations. Right? Hey, congratulations on that. Well done for you, Jennifer. One thing that really, really helps is I'm just reading your question again. To feel good about offering my notice to my current employer. So when it comes to that, think about the person that's going to step into that job. There's a new opportunity now, an exciting opportunity for somebody else to have an opportunity. So I think that when you kind of lean in there, yeah, they may be a little bit disappointed, but there's also somebody else that's coming up behind you that's going to have a wonderful opportunity to either start their own career or to add to their portfolio. And I think when you kind of look at it that way, it's somebody else's turn. It's somebody else's turn to have this now. And all the good things that go with it. All right. I had my learning experience here. Some of it was great, some of it was meh, but but somebody else is coming in now. And I would start to feel a little bit of excitement for that person. And it'll also help that perspective will also help you let go of anything that you perceive or may have caused you, some struggles or some learning in that. It'll kind of shift that. I had my turn here to learn and to grow. Somebody else's turn, and when you feel the excitement of that for somebody else, it will shift for you. um I also feel this is a good change for you. I also feel that job that you're leaving was a stepping stone, and I know you know that it was to get you where you needed to go next and where we needed to go next. It's almost like when you look at it, the journey, there's all kinds of stepping stones and rocks that we kind of do, and sometimes we have to take a big leap of faith. You had such an opportunity that brought you to where you're going next. So kind of bringing that energy in, Jennifer, will help immensely as well. um is cleaning my room similar to cleansing my space? Feels so much lighter, but maybe I'll do some smudging too. Very, very similar. Absolutely. Remember, it's all intention. So if you're cleaning your room, and as you go along, you're removing energy. I do both sometimes, because sometimes I don't have time to clean and smudge and. So as I'm cleaning, for example, if I'm passing the vacuum, I'll use the vacuum as a tool to smudge. I'm vacuuming away. I'm sucking up all the energy that needs to go. I'll open a window and just I'll bring my guardian angels with me. Please fill the space with love and light. So Absolutely. It doesn't have to be separate. And I think that's really important. It's all intention. I always say that. Do it your way and allow that to be the right way. So if you feel that you're cleaning and dusting and making the space lighter and cleansing it energetically as well, all in one. The only thing I always say is whenever we're cleansing, I feel it's really important to fill that space back up with a different vibration. So, it's just simply only love and light here, and, if you connect more with the angelic side of things, angelic and fill this up with love and light. Or you can, I often look at my little dog as I'm cleaning. She will often prance around behind me very happy. And I just happy in the energy. She's putting happiness back into this house. And I let her fill it back up. Whatever resonates with you. Perfect. This has been a really good time. Um, my father let me down last night, stood me up for his birthday dinner. I asked to see him. Definitely disappointing. Um, Very disappointing. And it's hard. And here we go, Kyle. I just had that whole aha. It comes back to what I channeled. There's going to be some stuff, relationship stuff, being able to, compromise, confusing mixed energy. That's a bit of a power struggle there too. Everything that I just kind of channeled about what's coming in this week, Kyle, you're experiencing it. So lean into increasing the journey of self-respect. I didn't do anything wrong here. Finding that inner peace, being able to let that go. These are some of the bumpy spots we're going to see this week, very similar to what Kyle's has shared. A little bit of disappointment or a little bit of stuff from other people, but we have to kind of come up with our own inner peace, our true authentic self. Where are you without judgment? So you got to kind of lean in there. That's interesting, Kyle, and thanks for sharing that because that's validation for everybody listening here that this is some of the energy we're going to be seeing creeping in, and there can be growth in that too, Kyle. So there can be growth within that. You can look at it this way. The next, how do I want to word this? The next time that there's plans, with dad, and you can be very open and honest with, are you showing up this time, because my time's important too. I'd love to spend time with you, but my time's important too. So is this kind of engraved in stone here? Are we actually going to go? So I think that's going to grow your own increased self-respect, right? And Kyle, you are so loved. I hope you know that. Okay, where are we here? Kayla, does Spirit have any messages for my move to the US? We submitted the immigration forms, but haven't heard back in a while. Kayla, one thing I get there's a lot of anxiety when there's stuff like this going on, but one thing that really, really helps, and it's hard to be patient. Us living people struggle with patience. I struggle with patience. There are times where it's like, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. And I have to remind myself that I'm gonna trust the divine timing. I don't want anything to happen that's not for my highest good. So I need to kind of be patient and allow it to come when the timing of it is right. So I need to kind of give that loving loving energy over towards you. The other thing that helps is I always, when I'm waiting for paperwork, sometimes paperwork, it's just like layers and layers of layers piled on somebody else's desk or in their email. It can be like email paper or electronic paperwork too. And what I'll often do is I'll just simply say, for my highest good, I'm going to push this along, and I'll wait until the divine time of that and trust. It's all about trust, Kayla, and I think you got to lean in there just a wee bit more, turn that volume up. Oh, something's happening here. Skip ads. Ad will run shortly for some viewers. I'm gonna hit skip ads. I'm still getting used to some of this new stuff coming out here on YouTube. Um, Oh, Cheyenne, here we go. I had a wonderful talk today with the pony during our forest walk about communication, which I think helped both of us. Thank you, Lana. You're very welcome. Keep up the animal communication. Animal communication gets very, very crisp and clear when we continue to practice it. So continue to practice that. I still do a lot of my own practice work. I don't know it all yet either with the animal communication, and I teach it, but there's always so much more to learn. So always continue to keep the practicing up. Never let go of that practice, because it gets more and more delicious. Nisa, dad has a PET scan on Wednesday. Are you feeling any improvement? Um, Nisa, I'm not sure. I don't feel terrible with it. Like I don't feel terrible, but I'm not getting a clear, crisp answer. And I know you know this. Sometimes it's not up to me to be able to answer certain questions. I don't see the answer, but if I lean into the feeling, I don't feel bad. I don't have that worry feeling, but I'm not getting a clear answer for you, and that may be, part of leaning into there with just trusting and one step at a time, from where you're at, Nisa. But I will be sending love and light and surrounding you all with that. Tin, I want to share that I've been listening to pre-birth experiences lately, and it's helping me appreciate our humanness even more. What What are your thoughts on pre-birth memories, Lana? Um, I think that all those memories are very much within us. Our brain may not remember, but our soul does. Our soul remembers every experience we've ever had, both in this lifetime and any other lifetime. So early memories before the brain can actually remember, or before we even had a brain. Like there's a whole other level to that with remembering what it's like up in the spirit dimensions. We don't remember that either, but our soul does. What it's like up there and what we do up there and how all that works. So I do feel very much that the soul remembers every single experience that we've ever had. I hope that answers your question there, Tin. Um, there's been a spirit in my house that has not been letting me sleep. I've been trying to keep boundaries with the spirit, but it hasn't been working. Do you have any advice? Yeah, I do have some advice. So number one, I don't feel that this is negative. I don't feel like there's a darkness there. I don't feel that you've opened yourself. But what I do feel though is I feel that boundaries has been a bit of a theme for you before, even with living people. And I feel like the spirit's coming to teach you another level. So one thing with spirit is, and I have very firm boundaries and it took me a while to learn them, because they used to wake me up all the time too. So one thing that I make time for is during my waking hours, I have a time frame where I'm awake to channel or do any kind of communication. Then there's a time that I'm not available. And I did many different things to kind of help me keep my boundaries, because believe it or not, we open up to them as well. Are they going to keep me awake? Yep. So you're kind of opening the door. Come on in and have a chit chat too. So what I was doing is, and I don't have to do this anymore because I'm very routine with them. Is I tell them, very clearly, you're not waking me up. I turn off my switch, or I'll just touch my top of my head. I'm not connected to you at the moment. I also used to put a sign on my door, out of service, or whatever words resonate with you. Um, you can also, if you don't want any communication at all, you can ask them very lovingly to leave and do a little bit of a smudge. I've said to spirit, usually after I do an event, I have a couple spirits that will hang out with me. They come home with me, they drive home with me, they hang out. Sometimes they make themselves known, sometimes I just feel them, and I'll simply say to them, you know what? Where you go? I gotta live in the physical world here. You guys gotta go back over. So there's that piece of it too, but I feel though that this is a lesson to teach you to step up that increased level of boundaries. And again, with the whole self-respect piece, it's an increase, it's a step up. So I hope that helps you there. Um, Spring Hall, this is a message filled morning between Haley's video and yours makes my day brighter. I haven't had a chance to go over and listen to Haley's video, so I'm not quite sure the what's familiar there, but I'm glad that there's a connection. Uh, I tried animal communication with my cat and asked her not to do something, and she looked at me, shook her head, and did it anyway. uh, that's kind of funny. Yeah, the animals do have a mind of their own. Animal communication does take a lot of practice before they will either listen to us, and sometimes they don't listen to us. Sometimes they're going to do our own thing. It's very similar as to people. I may tell you, I think you should do this, and you may say, yeah, no. They do have their own choices that they make too, and they're having their own experiences here too. But that is hilarious. Thank you, Lana. Boundaries have been a big lesson with people right now in terms of self respect. So this makes a lot of sense. Ha. So here you go. spirit is teaching you that. So we do have teachers from the spirit dimensions that come in. Sometimes they come in as angels, guides, spirit animals, or just spirits in general. Sometimes I don't even know who I'm working with. It's like, who am I working with? And I've just learned to kind of lean in there. So yeah, 100%, right? So you need to kind of step up a little bit and work on those. I'm finally able to give you an update about my German Shepherd. Sophia, she recovered amazingly after her toe amputation, and it wasn't cancer. It was a benign cyst. I'm very happy. Thank you so much, Sonia, for giving us that update on that toe. Quite often, I don't remember any of the channeled messages unless I go back and watch the videos, because when I'm channeling, I'm not using my brain. So Sonia, I'm not remembering if we talked about the toe or if I said anything about it before. Because when I channel at 95% to 99% of the time, I don't remember them. I literally have to go back. And that's not an uncommon thing. Many people who channel and mediums don't often remember the messages. So if you just want to give me a little quick message there on if you mentioned that before. Um Sony, you want me to grab an animal from the animal communication book? I can do that. I can do that. All right, Sony, what do you need to know? Dragonfly. Be on the lookout for falsehoods, deceits, or illusions that are clouding a current situation or relationship. You're being entirely too rational about everything and really need to tap into your deeper emotions, whatever that may be. Your passion is awakening, so direct it to what feels true and right for you. This is the time when the magic and mystery of your life is reawakening. It's vital to recharge your psychic energy, which you can do regularly by meditating. More than simply a change, you're going through a major transformation, so enjoy the process. Additionally, you'll be working with the fairies and the elementals. A lot of that ties into what I talked about with the whole emotions, right? Wow. I love that. I love that so much. That is incredible. Um, Jules, I'm so excited to see you on a live. Please, are there any messages for me? Let me have a little sip of my tea here while I tap in. Jules, I got a few things here. One I'm going to pull from my animal communication book 'cause I can't put it down since you've asked me. So I'm just going to ask what you need to know. Oh, it's the owl, and a specifically the great horned owl. Be more insistent that others treat you with kind and respect you deserve. Whatever project is in front of you, go at it with enthusiasm, fearlessness. When others are communicating with you, stay attuned to what's not being said by observing their body language and vocal characteristics such as volume, pitch, and inflection. Once you've identified your goal clearly, be more persistent, focused in your pursuit of it. Be courageous, undaunted by anything that you've previously been fearful of. Wow. So, Jules, the other thing that I wanted to kind of channel in. Whoa, there goes my light. Sorry, I have a light in behind me, and I just knocked it over. There we go. Jules, one thing that I really want to tap in there is I feel like you're coming into this space of doors opening, of new goals. So either you've been kind of mustering around, I think I want change, I think I want to try this or try that. I feel like that's coming more and more into an alignment. And I feel that sometimes you kind of put your toe in, take your foot out, put your toe in, put your foot out. And I just have to say you have so much to offer in a lot of different directions. There seems to be like a lot of layers to you that's quite talented, that's quite gifted, that's quite aware. And I think you're going to have this push of, I think I'm going to step into that now. I think now is a really good time to kind of work on those goals, work on those dreams, and kind of bringing them forward. I just see like so much that you put like in behind you coming forward, like like things that you always wanted to try, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be at work, but something that you really wanted to try. What's been on your bucket list to kind of try? I feel like I've got to kind of start stirring that. Right? I feel like I've got to give that I'm going to pull something off my bucket list and put it on the calendar as something that I'm going to do in 2024 or before the end of the calendar year. I feel like I've got to kind of bring that momentum up, and it feels like a lot of fun. So I'll leave that there with you. Um, I saw a hawk today on my way home from work. I love that. It was funny because I was thinking of Lana exactly in a moment. The hawk flew by. Oh, I love that. The hawks are such a powerful animal for me, word for me. I see them everywhere I go. You know, even when I was driving to my clinic job, every single morning at my parking spot at the clinic, there would be a red-tailed hawk on the fence waiting for me every single morning. It's such a profound animal for me. And when I read, I literally shift into the red-tailed hawk point of view. So I'm looking into that from that bird's eye view. See where we are here. I have to go when I'm done here. I'm gonna have to go watch Haley's video. It's coming up a little bit. I have been talking to her, but I haven't had a chance to watch that video. I had the family over yesterday for Thanksgiving dinner, so I haven't had a chance to watch it. But now you guys got me curious. I'm gonna have to let you guys go soon and go watch that video. Um, wow, I wasn't expecting that message. Okay, see where I need to go. Oh, Wesley's answering somebody, Donna, the Hawk and I email. Thanks, Wes. I must have missed that. Sometimes I miss a few of these messages. I try my very best to get to as many as I possibly can. And I know I've been on now for about 35 minutes. So I try really hard to get to as many as I can. So I appreciate, Wes, when you can answer some of those easier questions for me. I'm just going to scroll back up and see what I've missed. I'm gonna pull a message for the collective before like for all of us that are watching from the animal communication book. So I'll do one for all of us very, very soon. I'm just trying. My mouse got stuck and then I went up too far. Okay, here we go. Haley's video, everyone is talking, has the title "What the Devil Doesn't Want You to Know," which is basically a ton of motivational. Okay, perfect. During Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. Thanks, Wes. I'll have a look at it. I did see that she posted. I just didn't have a chance to click on it and watch them. Whenever I watch something, I want to be fully present, not just listening to half of something. So yeah, I will get to that today. Um, Peyton, she was testing you. Both of my cats do it as well. They do. They do tests. They also, animals also are here for their own experiences and their own learning too. So always kind of remember that. Like an animal has a soul. I'm sure you guys are all aware of that. And that soul has come to learn as well. So that's one thing that, I often remind myself when I'm working with animals is they're learning something too. A lot of the rescues that I work with, they're learning how to heal. They're learning how to move, move through certain things. Animals come with a soul contract. So, one thing that's always helpful because sometimes we can, get a little impatient or struggle with communicating is they're here to learn something too. They're also here to teach us stuff too, right? So part of their contract is they found us, they found you, that is to teach you something as well. So so sometimes they're teaching, we're learning, they're teaching. We're teaching, they're learning. So that's animals, and I think sometimes we don't give enough awareness to the other souls that are not in human form that are here to teach us. This is a really good topic. I could probably do a little video on this, but we'll talk about it now. There are other souls that are around us that are teaching us lessons that are not in human form, right? So it might be animals. It can, so it can be nature. Anything in nature has a soul that is here to teach us something. And our awareness into that, when we kind of lean into that a little bit, there is a whole other level of learning, and there's also a whole nother level of healing when we lean into others, non-human souls for our healing. It's profound. Like I take a lot of my healing work both in the past and in the present to nature, to animals, and we do an exchange. I help them and they help me, and it's a beautiful thing. Our healing doesn't have to be amongst all of the human souls. Our healing healing can be with the nature souls. It can be with, in with in the spirit dimensions. I take things to the elementals all the time. I go sit in my little fairy forest and have a magical time just re-experiencing my inner child. Like there's so much that we can do with working with other souls to bring us healing and a deeper understanding. This is a really good topic, so I'm really grateful. Um, Haha, Jen. I've had a groundhog and turkey cross my path every day for a week. I reread these messages from the book every time. I love that. Speaking of the book, let us go into a message for the group because then I have to go. Message for the group from the spirit animal book. Let's just put all our energy into a thought here on what do we need to know as a collective, as a group, and I will open it up. And we are on the hedgehog. Didn't the hedgehog come up last week? No matter what is going on for you right now, do your absolute best to enjoy life. Retreat from your usual routines for a day or two as a way of refreshing your body and spirit. This is a very fertile time and creative time for you, so express yourself in some enjoyable way. You have a powerful connection to the ancient goddess of energy, whether you're male or female. Work directly with the earth by doing some planting and gardening at your first opportunity. This is a good time to honor your natural curiosity and to satisfy it by following any whims, intuitive leads, or inner prompting that occur. That's interesting that it's come up. And I think it's 2 lives in a row. So it's very interesting. So let's lean in there a little bit more. I do have to go. I'll answer one more question here. Lana, I'm wondering something about past lives. Do they just continue nonstop for eternity, or do they have an end? So I don't know 100% that I hold the answer to this, right? But I'm going to explain it to you as to how I understand it. So I feel that and perhaps, I mean, there's answers up the spirit dimensions that we'll find out when we get there as well. But do we have an eternity? I believe so, but I also believe that there are other dimensions. So this isn't our only physical world. There's other experiences in other dimensions, including the experiences in the spirit world, where we go through a lot of healing and a lot of processes as well. I don't feel that there is an end to the soul's journey. And when I've done my channeling with spirit has always showed me a continuous evolving of our soul. And when you think about what that means is, can we evolve high enough to become a spirit guide or an angel or a spirit animal? I believe so, but I believe that it's continuous. I don't feel, and spirit has never shown me that there's an end. Okay, your soul can retire now, or I feel like we will come in many different forms to many different dimensions, including the spirit dimensions. So it has never been shown to me that and that's just kind of what spirit has shared with me, is that it is continuous. I was just wondering whether it is possible to not reincarnate. It is possible to not reincarnate, and remember, you may not reincarnate. Like there's no time up there, so you may not reincarnate back into the physical world here for 500 years. But that doesn't mean that you're never ever going to reincarnate, or perhaps you'll reincarnate in another dimension, or perhaps you'll spend eternity in the spirit dimensions. I think a lot of it isn't 100% solid. This is how it is, but I can share with you with my experiences that spirit has shared with me. One of my friends I met through Haley used to be a fairy healer in a past life. Absolutely. So, and remember, because there's no timelines, I mean, you may not reincarnate into a physical body for 1,000 years because there's no time up there, right? So sometimes it's hard for us to kind of remember that or lean into that because there's no time. Right. So, and you may reincarnate or have an experience in a different physical form, or in an energetic form, right? Energetically, you can have another experience. The soul is also, and I'll throw this out there, is multidimensional. So you can be having, and this is a big topic, and I won't spend too much time on it because I really do have to go. But we can be having more than one experience because the soul is multidimensional, right? So it is very fascinating, and I think one thing that is really important is just stay open, right? Like I never claim to have all the answers, and but I'm going to stay open to other possibilities too. There's so many possibilities, infinite possibilities, and I think it's impossible for one person to, or for us, all of us, to know all the answers. But with what spirit has shown me is there's many different experiences that we can have. What's right, Tin? It's so powerful. So what did Tin say? Oh, but the fairy stuff. Okay. Good. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I don't think I'm gonna let you guys know right now. I am not on here on Wednesday. So that is why I spent a little bit of extra time and I channeled. I'm just gonna double check that. Uh, Yeah, I'm not here Wednesday, I don't think. So that's why I channeled a bit more today, hung out here a little bit longer with you today. So have a great week. Remember remember the bumpy roads and the open doors and that inner peace. Look after yourselves. Look after yourselves. Honor yourself without judgment. As always, thumbs up, you guys. Let's go. As always, love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care.